Hey everybody, welcome to the Otherz podcast. I'm your host, Steve Penny. Joining me, as always, my co-host, the boy from Brazil, Rafa. How you doing, Rafa?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. But let's get into this because we've got a very special guest of us this week. Someone I've been pestering for quite a while to get on this podcast. He finally relented and is gracing us with his presence. The legend himself, Mr. Rosco P Coldchain. How are you, man?
That was a heck of an introduction. What's up, homie? I'm good, man.
To be fair, I have been pestering you for quite a while, haven't I? I've been messaging you.
Yeah,
Can you come on? Can you come on?
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. Yeah.
Well, we
Man.
really appreciate you taking the time to jump on, though, man, because I know you got a lot going on at the moment from what I see online. You got the new music out as well, which was like good to hear this weekend when I put that on.
Thanks.
So, yeah, I want us to have a bit of a chat about yourself, the new music, but also the stuff we know and love you for as well that you've done previously.
Right.
And what I really what I want to get into firstly is just yourself growing up back in the day and how you yourself got into music. So you are originally from Philly, is that right?
Yes, yeah. I'm from North Philly, originally. And I got into music essentially like cousins that were, really big and in the hip hop at the time. And it was like essentially new because it was the 80s. So, I just fell in love with it, man, and started writing just through the pain and just observing a lot of stuff that I was seeing at that time when I was a kid, and just cultivated my style, man. And now we got Rosco.
And it's most definitely a unique style. We've talked about that previously on the podcast. Is that something you had like from the get-go, or did you kind of work on that slightly different style that you have, that kind of rhyme flow that you have?
I think it was something I had from the get-go because it came by me not understanding how to write. I didn't know structure.
Yeah.
So I would try to fit so much stuff in these bars. And, people were like, man, it's like spoken word. It's like the newest shit. And I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's really coming from me. It's really coming from me not understanding how to, write bars. And finally, when I did learn, it just brought a new style to it. It brought a better style. And now I can do anything, in terms of writing. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, man, nice. Like Steve said, like we in a previous episode we were talking exactly about that, like how your style of rhyming and writing bars like so unique, like it's spoken poetry. Like I can see you on the Def Jam spoken poetry,
Right. Well, I did that. I definitely did Def Jam Poetry Jam before. But I feel like now I'm just a better rapper. Like I was a good poet then.
That comes with time, right? That comes with all that kind of all the hours you put in, the practice you get.
That's what I'm saying. They say 10,000 hours or something, like you could perfect something or something like that, or something along those lines. So just me personally, I spent literally like years and years and years and years doing, it's just repetition. You know what I'm saying? At this point.
And at what point was it you kind of felt that, okay, I can make a go of this. This is actually something I'm good at?
I think I always felt that. I think that was just something, that was a goal regardless. Mm-hmm. Just to have had it achieved at a high level. And I essentially completed that. I didn't do everything that I wanted to do, obviously, because of what happened. But I pretty much did everything. I got a gold record. I got songs with some of the biggest names. So I'm kind of cool with how my career went. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously it's not over. So
it's not a bad start, is it? To be honest,
it's always. But end is always about how you finish.
Yep.
So it's never about how you start. So what I'm out to do now. The independent market is really big. And nowadays it's actually bigger than the actual industry. And I just recognized, like, yo, man, nigga, I got a cult following. Like, I ain't got to do, I ain't. You know what I'm saying? I already got a fan base.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I already got a fan base. So it ain't like it would be that much harder. It's just reminding everybody with, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm here, I'm home, you know. And so, yeah, with guys like you helping me, man, I should be good.
Yeah, of course. 100%.
Most definitely. And if we can help, we will, of course, because, yeah, we are
But you're doing it now.
fans from, back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I was...
You're doing it now, man.
Well, yeah, we appreciate that, that as well. And
Right, absolutely.
But, like, going back to the early sort of 2000s and when you kind of got on those records, and I want to go back there just because we do have, like, a lot of listeners that, were only born in, like, the year 2000 or after. So I feel horrifically old.
Right.
Yeah, they weren't around when these songs first came out, which is
they weren't.
Depressing to think about, yeah. And it's unfortunate for them, yes.
These young children have not been and had the experience of, the early 2000s and mid 2000s. But we can give them stories, you know what I mean? We ain't getting too old, man.
Yeah. Feeling it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Give us the main story then that I think a lot of the listeners will kind of, like to hear straight from your mouth, which is like, how does somebody like yourself who's out there in Philly end up on Star Trek and end up there with the Clips and with the Neptunes and those guys?
Yeah, so in short, can you see me? Am I moving?
Yep, we're good.
Yeah.
So in short, what happened was, okay, cool. I had met Pharrell at a, just a happenstance meeting. I was selling drugs, unfortunately. But yeah, he just happened to be shooting a video on the block that I was selling drugs on. And, I just walked up to the man. I recognized him from weeks prior from being on, BET. And, I just walked up to him, man, and just was like, hey, you ever hear of the guy Rosco? And he was like, who? And I was like, yeah, Rosco, man. He's the hottest guy in the city. I'm just going off a prayer.
That's some balls, that is.
Yeah. I don't know how this is going to work out. You know what I'm saying?
Fake it till you make it.
He said, yeah, well, go get him. And I said, shit. Right? And so I sat there for a minute. At this time, I only had about 4 raps. Right? So I only got like 4 literal raps or whatever. So I'm like, listen, man, give me 1 second. And I started rolling up some weed. And in the process, he said, well, goddamn, man, you just fucking taking off a long time, man. Could you go get the man? And in the midst of that, that's when I began to perform. And, he was taken back, man. And he was just like, could you do it again? And I said, yeah. And so at that point, he pitted me up against a few guys, and things got interesting. And, and then a few weeks later, he was just like, yo, listen, come up to VA. And I went to Virginia Beach, picked me up, and that's how it went. Here I am.
Nice, man. Congrats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but shout out to Pharrell, man. That's still the big homie. That's my big homie.
Yeah, most definitely.
Nice. No, I just want to ask, like, the first time that I heard your song was the song Delinquent, and it was in the main page of the Star Trek music forum.
Okay.
Do you remember that, like, of your song being on the front page of the Star Trek website? Because it was a huge moment for me, like, just listening to it, like, just staring to this page, listening to this guy rhyming this on this crazy beat. So do you have any recollection of that?
Well, I have a recollection of the actual song. The recollection of them placing me on their forum or their page. I wasn't even aware, honestly. When it happened, I just remember, me doing the music, how much I actually enjoyed the music, right? And doing it. And obviously the video.
Yes.
We did a huge video in North Philadelphia, hundreds of people there. And, any celebrity in terms of Philadelphia that you want to know, any rapper or whatever, they were there. And it it just was good energy. It gave a lot of hope to the hood. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I can really recall about it.
And during that time, like, how much work did you do in the studio? Like, because I know we've had lots of unreleased bits and pieces over the years that have kind of leaked out. Is there a lot more, or was that kind of most of it that you did at the time?
Well, in terms of the studio, I mean, it's so much music. You know what I mean? It's probably just floating around that guys just was like, fuck it, we're gonna leak it because you know, we don't know what's gonna happen with Roscoe, right? So a lot of I'm sure Pharrell didn't commission that, right? So a lot of this stuff is just floating around, wasn't even supposed to be out, right?
Yeah.
But they are. A lot of the records that you hear with Pharrell was the album.
Wow.
So if you hear any record at that time, if you go to YouTube right now and hear any record that sounds like an old Neptune beat, that was specifically for the album. You know what I mean? And anything else, a kind of, you know, that was on there now, it was just simply a throwaway or something, you know. And so that's kind of how that went.
And do you feel like stuff leaking out over the years has kind of helped or hindered? Because, like, from my perspective, looking at it from the outside, it kind of adds to that, I guess, mystique almost of Roscoe. Obviously, especially
Right.
while you were away as well, it kind of helped tick things over and keep you in people's minds. Do you feel that kind of helped at all, or would you rather that stuff just like not be out there because it wasn't finished?
Nah, I would have rather put it out.
Okay.
Because what it did was it allowed me to be remembered. So now when I come home, you know, 13 years later, these guys and people like yourself are like, hey, man, we remember you. So what that does is now that opens up another door for another opportunity.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, all right, I still have people that want it. All right, I can still make a living off of this. But, you know, the grind is different. You gotta, you know, it's not the days of the big labels and the, you know, the $1 million video shoots, and you know, you got a phone. You use a phone. We're doing a podcast over a phone.
Yep. Times have changed, and it wasn't even that long ago.
It wasn't even that long ago. So, you know, at this point, a lot of the stuff that we used to need, we don't need that no more. We can go ahead, get a phone, get you a holder, you know what I mean? A gimbal, and you can pretty much set up your own thing wherever you're at. Without a label, as long as you're LLC'd up, you're good.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And as long as you know your business, man, you can run it and generate your own money and do a Griselda type thing. And so for me, when I look at acts like Griselda, when I look at acts like Tech-9, when I look at all of these indie acts, the Hus Kingpin, shout out to my man Hus Kingpin. He's in Brazil right now. He live between New York and Brazil. So shout out to Hus Kingpin, man. I think he over in Rio Grande. So that's my man. But dudes like Hus Kingpin, you know, those guys, you know, these guys are showing me how to get this independent money and do it without a label. Yeah, you're not going to be as, you know, and that's not necessarily true for everybody. I'm not going to say for me per se, but a lot of guys, you know, they're not big in every house. They're not on every TV. But guess what? They're caking up. They're doing shows regularly, right? They got a catalog, and they can live off of it for the rest of their life, and that's just what I'm trying to do. I'm not out here trying to be, you know, the best rapper alive or you know, the richest mogul or whatever. Like I want it to be to where y'all recognize my craft and know what I do, and I can still provide for my family.
Being comfortable, man.
Nice.
That's like the most important thing.
That's it,
not
brother.
having to worry about things. Yeah.
Right. That's it, man. You know, I just did all this time. So, you know, naturally, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now and the way that I'm living is new.
Yeah.
Right? Just being totally honest and upfront, just being legit. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm going to jump around a little bit, but like, how has that adaptation been for yourself on like a personal level? Has that been like hard?
To be honest, I don't think it's hard more than it is new.
Yeah.
Not really hard, it's new. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm an intelligent enough, guy to kind of like catch on to shit fast. But, sometimes you learn through trial and error.
Yeah.
So, a lot of stuff that I've been learning about myself under these new conditions, and, it's trial and error.
Yeah.
Because it's stuff that I never did, right? And so, yeah, man, I think it's not hard, it's just new.
Yeah.
And, life is always going to do what life does.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you have. I don't care, God shows you at the end of the day, none of your money, nothing you can, amass tangibly will ever amount to, what he is spiritually. Right. So I just, at this point, like I said, I'm just focused on living.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to
yeah, most definitely
overextend. Right.
And like,
right.
it's not hard, it's new is like a brilliantly positive way of looking at it. Because there could be a lot of people in your situation that would just be like, man, like fuck this, I don't know this, it's too difficult, I can't be bothered with it, I'll go back to doing things the way I know how to do things.
Hey, I was there. I would listen. Bro. Like, because, again, I'm not under Pharrell and them every day. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not under these guys every day. They my guys. We love each other from a distance.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They doing what they doing, and I'm doing what I do. So, how it used to be in that sense of camaraderie, how it used to be is not that anymore. And it's not that anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? And so, what I understand is, man, being a man is just being a man.
Yeah.
You got to, whatever you got to do to provide for yours without jeopardizing your freedom or somebody else's lifestyle and how they may live. Then this is what you got to do as a man. You got to do a lot of the times. You just got to do a lot of shit that you don't want to do, and you just got to do it.
Yep.
And I've never legit. So this is one of those things I do not like to do. But it's just one of those things that I understand has to be done in order to maintain my freedom. And, ain't nothing taking me from my family no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And just kind of bouncing back a little bit, back to those kind of early 2000s when you were on those records, do you, I don't want to say a regret, 'cause it's like a negative kind of connotation to it, but like, do you feel that kind of obviously going away when you were at that level at that time, which was kind of climbing and going up, do you feel that kind of like, derailed obviously did derail your career, but like how much?
Yeah, it slowed it down.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It definitely did. I had many a nights to regret it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got to live, but you got to learn how to live with them, And so, it was rough at first, you know what I'm saying? But then eventually you get that understanding of like, this is just, it is what it is. Like, what can I do about it, And so I think where I am now is, funny enough, I like this space I'm in musically and in terms of like business and, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just feel it in terms of the music. I don't have to answer to anybody.
No expectations, only your own.
Nice. Any shows?
And you know what I mean?
Like through your social media or your music right now, like it shows like you have more freedom, like you feeling good about yourself. And that's incredible to hear and see.
Good. And that's what I wanted to convey. That's the energy that I want to give. Just freedom, bro. I'm going to do what I think is hot. It's not about everybody else. This is about me and, the people that like me and that deal with me. So if you were a fan of me, then I ain't going to say nothing corny or no bullshit, right? It's always about how you put it. And y'all know I can rap my ass off. So you
We
know,
do know, yes.
I mean, not to toot on my horn, but damn,
No, do it, man. Do it. Yeah.
Do it. You should.
So my thing is, as long as I stay true to me at this point of my life, you know, we're uber grown at this point,
For sure.
right? So I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that old man that just doesn't give a fuck. You know that old person, you just come in here to say anything.
It's
like,
a great way to be sometimes.
Yeah, they just be like, tie your fucking shoe. You like, it is tied. You know what I mean? It's tied of fucking again. You know, I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm the old uncle at this point, so I'm cool with that. Right? I'm cool with that energy. I embrace it. I love it. Because essentially with my art I can do whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? And this is no shot to, the Pharrells of the world or nothing. I think he gave me him and, let's say, like Alchemist, those guys, Pharrell, let's say Timbaland, let's say who else that I dealt with that was, major, Kanye, right? These are guys that I learned from by doing records with them, studying them, getting advice from them in terms of the things that I should do musically. So my teachers were the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it doesn't get much better than that. It really doesn't.
Yes, in terms of sonics, right? We ain't even talking about rapping. We just talking about strictly production, arrangement, that thing. My teacher, I had the best teachers, and I worked with all of those guys in a close capacity. So I held on to everything, every little trick of the trade that they gave me, and now we're here. So I think with those tools that they gave me, I can pretty much do whatever the fuck I want to do.
And that sounds like a great sort of spot to be in at this time of life. Because like you say, it's like, no disrespect to Pharrell or anyone else, but like they're doing different things and he can't, Pharrell can't say what he wants to say half the time because of all of the things around him in his world, in all his other many other jobs and stuff like that. So when we listen to a Pharrell interview, it's very political type answers. They're very calculated and non-controversial, and that's fine because that's the way he lives his life now, and that's okay. But like you say, for you at this time in your life, having that ability to come and go as you please, do as you please, say what you want to say, it's kind of ideal.
That's my point. So where I'm at now, it's like I know 90% of the records that I would do is going to be impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I'm not going for the hit. We're not looking for the hit. We're looking for the impact. We're looking at how many lives we can affect in a positive way. Right? And so, in my road to redemption, essentially that's always been in me to inspire, motivate, give, right? Or, even tell you the other side, right? But I think now it's more poignant simply because of what I went through, right? Like, you don't have many rappers doing 13 years for homicides coming home, especially for homicide they ain't do, and they coming home and, they are really good at what they do. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of them stop doing it. A lot of them go up there, go to jail, and they lose it. They lose hope. They lose ambition. That's what jail is designed to do, to break you.
Damn.
Department of Corrections. This is what they call it in America. They call it the Department of Corrections. They are here to correct you of how you used to think.
Yeah.
Right? My thing was, I can't allow them to break certain parts because I'm already broken in this motherfucker. So what else? What the only thing that you can break now is the last thing that I'm holding on to for sanity, because this writing is my therapy. So now if I give this up, regardless, if I give this up, somebody's going to get hurt.
From what you just said, I assume the answer is going to be yes, but you know, did music and rap and continuing to write play a big part of like getting you through those 13, 14 years?
And people didn't even know that I was still at it. I left people under the impression that I was retired, I was done, I'm not doing it, because we kind of hold a negative light. You know, you being a rapper in jails, like, it's like now, you know, you can be made to be some type of joke.
It's almost a stereotype, isn't it?
Yeah, you rap, you're a weirdo. You rap, you know, that type of thing. And so my thing was like, listen, what I'm not going to do is give you the satisfaction of saying Roscoe rap for me in jail. Nope, because we all fucked up. So we all are supposed to be correcting ourselves. I'm not going to be your entertainment for this motherfucker. And so what I did was I took it to a more therapeutic standpoint, which gave me more to write about. Because obviously, if I'm not going through life, then what? I'm not going through life. I'm stuck. I'm in purgatory. So I have nothing to write about. So I gotta psychoanalyze everything and every experience that I went through in order to write this shit down and to keep my craft right.
So during those 13 years, are you just in your head going back over and over your life so far? Is that always a good thing to do though?
I think it's it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's self-inflicting. But once you finally get it out, and especially when you receive, you know, everybody's just congratulations and, you know, all of that type. So when you get that, that's the gratifying moment. You know, when you got somebody that's saying, man, I can relate to this shit. Or, yo, this shit is my shit. You know, I live for that. That gives me drive to want to keep doing it. You know? And so as long as I get that, I don't give a fuck if I'm 60, I'm going to still do it. Yeah.
Nice, man.
So that's right. Yeah.
Some inspirational words from Rosco P Coldchain, man. Thanks for that. Awesome.
No doubt.
It seems like self-therapy almost.
Yeah.
That you're kind of giving yourself, reliving it, writing about it, going back over it in your own head time and time again. Like you say, it's painful, but you kind of felt that you had to do it to get that stuff out and to deal with it. And
yeah, and that's all I had to do.
Yeah, and that's a commendable thing in itself, because as you said, there's a lot of people that can go in, and I can't speak from experience. You know, what do I fucking know about it? But like from the small parts I do know, there are a lot of people that go in there, like you say, and just cut off. That's it. They're like, I'm in here, I'm done.
Right.
That's it, and they just you know, check out basically.
They check the fuck out every time, and you just sitting there, man, bro. I just seen so many people give up, man. You know what I'm saying? I done seen people kill themselves. Multiple people. I done seen people self-destruct, that was me. I was very like, you know, when I get to this depressive, you know, this state of depression, I lash out. Right? And it wouldn't do nothing but hurt me in the long run, because now I'm lashing out, and you know, I got to go to the hole. You know, and this is when I begin to understand, yo, I'm really like, you know, most, you know, gangsters, thugs, whatever you consider yourself to be, is they emotionally immature, right? We lack emotional maturity. It was something that happened to where we just missed our mark. So most gangsters, you can't say something, you can't step on their shoe, you can't accidentally bump them, you can't say, you know, just one thing wrong, or they just want to go all the way and try to hurt you. And so when I realized that what I was doing and how I was doing it was wrong, and it was affecting people, you know, I didn't realize how many people lives I affected negatively also. Right? So a lot of people got victimized, you know, for my actions, right? And so, you know, when I started to have that type of empathy, I just developed a heart, right? Knowledge of self. And then I started to treat people differently. You know, I started to, like, you know, every day that I would get up, I wouldn't look at it like, woe is me, I'm in jail. You know, every day that I'm getting up now was with a sense of purpose and motivation to say, hey, man, you got to get back out there because you have a mission to complete. You have to teach the people. I'm listening.
It's commendable, man. It really is.
I'm listening. I'm seeing what's going on. We live, God bless Kendrick. God bless Cole, right? We live
Yeah.
in a time, and we always promote it. You know, gangster rap, when gangster rap came, gangster rap was just fucking crazy. You know, you had the Lord's talk, you had everybody just against it, right? This is different. We're in a time where there is no respect. There is all disregard for human compassion, life. There is no concern about your own life, right? This is a drug now, mind you, this industry has always been that. Now we're in a hyper, that hypersensitive moment in which everybody, because it's social media, right? It's the phone, right? Everybody's accessible. So if I say something to you right now over this phone, it's as if, like, because I'm looking at you right now, right? Before I went to jail, we didn't have this, right? But I can talk to you guys, look at you guys, say some real foul shit to you guys, and then have you guys mad as a motherfucker ready to do something to me when you see me. Whereas before you couldn't catch me, man. I wasn't accessible.
Yeah.
Right? You couldn't just text me. You needed my number. You know what I'm saying? Now you can just, they call it DMing now. You can just DM me and then boom, it just slides right. It's called sliding in somebody's DM. And then the next thing you know, you're like, yo, what the fuck? How did you even get in here?
Yeah. It's not like the old days. I'm not
invited.
rolling through North Philly, am I, looking for you?
Yes, you.
Not with this accent, anyway.
Rolling through North. Yup, that's you. Shit, they would have loved you. They would have said, oh, cheerio. Yeah.
To be fair, the one good celebrity story I do have is when I went up to Jay-Z's office and I met his sister who runs like the Rock Nation office for him. And the first thing she sort of noticed was obviously my accent when I met her. Yeah, afterwards she was inquiring about who's the English guy and was mocking the accent. So it was like, Jay-Z's sister knows about me and that's good.
Yeah,
that's good enough for me.
Like you just telling, you're like, yeah, I'm cool with Jay-Z's sister.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She remembers the English guy.
Yeah.
No, even for me, like I'm from Brazil, so even for me, just the idea of talking to Rosco P Coldchain on camera, like if I go back 20 years and say to me like, oh, in 20 years you're going to be talking to Rosco P on camera, like what are you talking about on camera? Like,
damn, that's dope,
there's no
man.
way.
You know what's funny? It's crazy, man. I think that's a dope sentiment, man. And again, that's you're one of the reasons, man. But it's always been odd to me. I finally got it together, but it was always kind of odd to me, like celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Because especially when you don't see yourself as such. So everybody else sees you as such, but you don't see yourself as such. But what I do understand now from then, it just is what it is, right? And sometimes you have to separate yourself, right? Or you'll end up like PNB Rock. You'll end up like Nipsey. You'll end up because, you'll try to give back and you'll try to hold everybody down and you'll try to do all these different things. But if you don't separate yourself from that environment, right? You have to separate yourself from that environment completely. You can come back, right? With some security and whoever else you fucking need. But you have to separate yourself from people, places, and things because they're going to pull you back into old behaviors, right? And or kill you because they just hating on you, And, PNB and Nipsey are a sentiment to that.
And did you have that like understanding of celebrity and fame kind of, back when you were on these, big records in the early 2000s? Or were you just enjoying it for what it was back then?
I was just enjoying it for what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. I was just happy to be there.
Like how old were you then, if you don't mind me asking?
I was 23 when I first got signed.
A kid,
so I was
man.
23 when I first. Yep, I was a kid when I first got signed, man. And like doing what kids do, having fun, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Living, traveling, I didn't have too many concerns. As most kids, we all think we're gonna live till tomorrow and that whole thing. So it was a bunch of that, man. And no regrets, not one.
Good.
So you know what I mean. So I'm just trying to move forward, man, with this new project.
That's a good segue that moves us on quite well, because I don't want to keep you too much longer. But yeah, the new project that came out, was it sort of last week or the week before? Living on Borrowed Time. You sent me a link for it. I managed to get a chance to listen to it a couple of times quickly over the weekend. Got to say, It was immediately classic Roscoe.
Okay.
Love the flows in there, really did.
Good.
Enjoyed a lot of the beats.
Right.
I'm trying to think. My memory's terrible for like song titles and names.
Yeah, me too.
Generational Curses, because I've got the list next to me. That one I really liked.
Right.
A bit more kind of introspective, which I enjoyed.
Right.
And Enchilada, I enjoyed.
Enchilada is my favorite.
That is your favorite? No doubt.
But I think like it's a short album. It's only, what is it, sort of half an hour or something like that.
Right.
But a good bundle of tracks there. There's 10, 11 tracks, I think. It's easy to get into, easy to listen to. It's classic Roscoe. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've got to say,
good.
I hope, and I know you're going to keep doing more stuff, but I hope to see more of this. And I want to see you kind of obviously progress and evolve from here as well. And like, 'cause we know, like, obviously everyone that is, listened to you all those years ago knows like what you're capable of. We know how talented you are. That's why we're still fans, 20 years later. And we still, still sit here like, like little schoolgirls because we're talking to you, Oh my God, let's go.
Yeah, man. But you're grown, man.
Right. Yeah, man. Well, first things first, I'm appreciative of that. I had did that album last year. Shout out to my man DJ Lights Out. He did him and I forgot the other producer's name. Forgive me, man. It's gonna come to me. But him and his men, right? They did pretty much all the production on that one, and it was like instant. Like I went in there, I flew out to San Diego. I did the album in 3 days.
The whole thing.
Matter of fact, I flew out Friday. I was done Saturday night. Yep. Nice. So as soon as I got off the plane, it was just record. And so we recorded. So
that's about Tupac levels of studio work. That is.
Yeah.
That's what it was. You hit it. Like I went Tupac, and I just knocked it out. And so what I did was I have. Essentially, it's something that you haven't heard yet. I have something called Last Night Should Never Happen, right? So I got that. But when I tried to load it up on DSPs, unfortunately, TuneCore, whatever those goddamn people are, they didn't load it on all the DSPs and only loaded it to YouTube. So what I had to do is basically put out another album. I had recorded, I got about 4 projects done already.
Wow.
Just done, ready to roll, ready to put out, right? But I'm giving them time to breathe so everybody can kind of catch on to what's happening.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get it how I needed to get it the first time. And so this time I said I'm gonna just let this simmer for the summer, and then fall. Me and a guy by the name of Nicholas Craven. Me and Nicholas Craven, who is behind, I guess, Boldy James, like a lot of his production. A lot of other guys too. But he's dope. And he's just like, yo, we're going to do a whole mixtape. Then I have this other guy from the West Coast named Ichiban. And we're about to do a whole mixtape together. I have 2 other solo projects coming out. And so at this point, it's more or less like, what am I going to put out first? Right? So, don't expect the same Roscoe on each project. That's what I will say to the people.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Right? Sonically, you're not going to get the same thing. So if you're looking for, for the mature and, Last Night Should Have Never Happened, you're not going to find it, right? Each album sonically sounds different. Each album, almost the content is literally different. But you still get classic me. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I'm on, man.
That sounds good. I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're here for it. And Roscoe,
Yep.
what is the biggest difference for you to recording tracks, like recording your raps back in the day and right now? And how is it better, in your opinion?
I can do what I want. That's just bottom line. I ain't gotta. I ain't, like, cause I'm too free spirited.
Yeah,
I'm good with advice. I take advice, but I want to do what the fuck I want to do. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
of
Like
course.
my spirit is too free for somebody to be trying, or a label to be trying to control my content, the things that I say and the things that I do and how I may look and what I may wear. And I'm not with none of that shit. I'm too fucking old
Did you have that input or feedback previously?
in terms of what I should wear, what I should do.
Yeah, just because obviously your kind of whole background, and I appreciate you appearing with with clips who talk about similar content matter and stuff like that. But did you have like any kind of label feedback, like tone down this and change that, and please do it this
Oh
way?
yeah, of course. I've had that. And to the people I respected, I listened.
Mm-hmm.
And to the people that I didn't respect, I didn't. You know when it's coming from a malicious place,
Yeah.
opposed to a place of like, no, this is really like a genuine place. And so I was more or less on some shit like, man, listen, man, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do, and that's what I did. I'm singing, I'm dancing, I'm doing everything. I'm an entertainer.
As
This
long as
is
you're
what people
enjoying
don't get.
yourself, that's all that matters.
I'm enjoying myself, man. I'm just enjoying myself, and I think that's how it's gonna happen. I think by me just living and enjoying the craft,
Yeah.
opposed to looking for something out of it. That's when everything, I'm going to get all the blessings. That's when everything is going to come to me. But if I look for something out of it, it's like money. It's like if you chase it, it never comes.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
But as soon as you just say, you know what, let me just start living my life and doing what I need to do, this shit just start falling out the sky. You're like, damn,
Yeah.
another check, more money. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
it's about the energy that you're giving. And so, I'm just trying to give back some positive energy that can be reciprocal.
That's a great way to be.
That's
Cool,
it.
man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I have a question that is bumping in my mind for almost 20 years, and
Okay.
it's about your rap name, Rosco P Coldchain.
Okay.
And I never thought about it when I discovered you and when I was listening to you back in the day. But one day, I think it was in 2010, maybe, like I saw this movie, the Hazards, the Dukes of Hazard, and this guy,
Yeah.
one of the characters, his name was
Name was
Roscoe Pico
Roscoe.
Train. I'm like, what? So that's the inspiration, right?
That was the inspiration. It's funny because he's like this die hard Confederate, right? But
Yeah, exactly.
um, yeah, it was like crazy. But if his name had a ring, it had a ring, and you know, they was in terms of the streets, they was already calling me that.
Oh,
You see what
okay.
I'm saying? They was already calling me Roscoe. So what I did was I added the P in a cold chain on the end, and that's because I already liked the show. But I didn't think of the negative connotation it held from who it was. I just cared about the name and what I represented and how I
Yeah, of
represented
course.
right towards it. But yeah, man, that's the inspiration. Roscoe P Coldchain, Dukes of
Yeah,
Hazzard.
and even in the name of your album, right? Like because the name of your first album, it was be like Hazard.
It was supposed to
Sorry.
be Hazardous Life.
Yeah. It's also because
Exactly.
of the
It
series.
was the whole correlation was in tune with it. And
Ah,
so, it
okay.
was a good marketing scheme when we had it, and we was ready to push it and promote it, and then, things got a little crazy at the label, and we had to leave it alone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And one more question about like I remember I think it was 2008 or 2009. Like I saw a Pharrell interview, and he was talking with DJ Premier, and he was dying to DJ Premier to work with you. And when I saw that, I remember like, oh, that's so perfect.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah,
perfect. So did you have the opportunity to work with DJ Primo?
yeah.
Oh my
Primo's my
God.
guy. That's yeah. I actually have a record on YouTube. Somebody just put it out. But yeah, me and Premier got 2 records together. We did 2 records together back in the day. I actually just got in contact with him again. So hopefully we'll be hearing something in the future.
Oh.
But until then, it's just we building up. Yeah, keep your hands crossed, right? So your
Yeah,
fingers
man.
crossed. But we right now we just building up the relationship of just I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? Type of thing, and then we can evolve into that later.
That's awesome. Awesome to hear, man. Like fingers
Yeah,
crossed,
yeah,
100%. But I
yeah,
think
man.
because I think like the your style with DJ Primo, I don't know, it's like Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist, and like it's
That's
perfect.
dope.
Like I
That's
remember being like so stoked back in the day, like, oh my God, I wanna hear this so much. So
ain't no
yeah.
fucking doubt. And I'm glad you said that because when I talk to him, I'm gonna bring that analogy up and see if we can go ahead and knock a whole project out. So I'm gonna
Yes,
see if that
man.
works for him, man. I'm gonna talk to him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rafa's
please
gonna
do.
want a special thanks in the credits
Oh, you
if you
already
do
know,
mention
man.
that.
I gotta
Hey.
give him back. Hey, my man Rob, man, over in the favelas. You know what I mean? The betrayal.
You already
Walk
know.
up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
man.
But
Oh,
yeah. Other than that, man, more music coming. We shooting another vid. Probably we probably shoot a vid like 2 weeks for Broken Codes. So we gonna put Broken Codes out. And just really, bro, just inundate these people with just consume them with music. It's nothing else I can do. I can't talk anymore. I can't, you know what I mean? The only thing I can do is just put the music out, let the product speak for itself, and then see where it lands. You know what I mean? But again, guys like yourself, these platforms, they help me spread the message.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome,
and
man.
we are more than happy to help as well, because we want to
absolutely.
see you back out
Yeah, of
there.
course.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But other than that, you know what we talking about next. We, you know,
Man, well, I think we've kept you for nearly an hour, so I don't want to keep you for
okay,
like any longer. Appreciate you got
no doubt,
your own stuff going on.
I do.
And you are very kindly. You've been obviously outside and sat in your car as well while you talk to
I
us,
did.
which you
I'm
don't
in
want
my
to spend the whole
van.
day doing.
I
So
got my van. I got my stuff here.
nice.
I still do my little jobs and stuff on my odds and ends. I still grind, but it's just in a positive way, man.
Good, man. That's what it's got to be. It's what
That's
it's got to
awesome,
be.
man.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
so
Yeah.
Rosco, thank you so much for joining us. It really means a lot to us as
No
fans and
problem,
also the
man.
people listening. Great to see you back. Great to see you flourishing as well, man. I must say, you really are.
Thank you.
And it's great to hear the new
I'm trying.
music. And we're looking forward to all
Right.
the stuff you got coming up as well. Just for the people out there, like where can they follow you online if they want to kind of see what you're up to and stuff? What's the best place?
RoscoePColdchain.com. What's that? IG Roscoe P Coldchain 17. Facebook Roscoe Coldchain. TikTok Roscoe P Coldchain 17. YouTube Roscoe P Coldchain 17. You have to put the 17 on there or leave the P out when you're dealing with certain stuff because it's so many guys that stole my identity
I
while
remember
I was
over the
incarcerated.
years when you were away getting messages from people, and I was like, "That's not him. That's really not him."
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, I said, damn, that shit really took a life of its own. I can't. I said, your name's Skull too. What?
Oh man. Well, we will dig all those links out and I'll put them in the show notes for everybody to go and visit and hopefully give you a follow as well and make sure they check out the new music.
Thanks, bro.
Other than that, everyone, you can find us at Otherz Podcast. You can find me at Steve R. Penny. You can find Rafa at Rafito_Zerk and Sneakartel. The links will be in the show notes, but we will wrap it up there for now. Thank you all for listening, and we will be back next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Rosco.
All right.
Thanks for the talk,
appreciate
man.
y'all, man.
Man,
Thanks.
we
Hey,
appreciate
Steve,
you, man, a lot. Thanks, man.
Hey, Rap, man, stay safe out there, homie. I appreciate you too, boy.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the talk, man. Thanks for the words.